Okay, Dad. What I want to do is walk you through how the trading went today. Better day. What you see here is that trade log that I showed you from last week, where I lost 28 bucks total for the week. But what I focus on is this batting average and that win loss ratio, and then that slugging percentage, 491. I need to get that up close to 1,000. The higher the better. But at 1,000, you become really profitable. So that's the goal. So that was last week. We'll flip over to today's log, and as you can see, pretty good day. I was plus $24 just for the day. 47. I hit 478 today. My winners were more than 2.2 times my losers, which is great. That's exactly where I'd want it to be. And then that slugging percentage over 1,000, so that was great. Down here, you can kind of see my trades, how they went today. This is the order in which I took them. You can see it didn't start out really good. I had a little bit of a winner, a little loser, a little winner, then a loser, 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 then a nice winner, then a loser, and then things started, going my way. But you can see the amount of my losses. I was trying to keep the losses to around $2 or less. So predominantly, I did a pretty good job of that. 209, 230, 268, 240, 240, 250, 216, $1.80, 225, 70 cents, $1.35. So I kept the losses and basically I let the winners run. So I'm just going to kind of walk you through some of these charts. You can kind of see what I play today, and I'll take them in order. So the first one was Disney. Disney, remember, I draw in all the support and resistance lines, and what I saw in Disney is it popped up into that resistance and then couldn't really hold it and started falling through it. So I went ahead and shorted it. And this is what it looked like from there. So I shorted it right about in here, wrote it down into here, and then it started to bounce back up. So I got out and took a little bit of profit. Um, would have liked to have shorted it later, but a little bit later in the day, that's kind of lunch. I take a break and um, wasn't paying attention to it. Once I got out, I let it go. Next one, Nike. Nike, I was going long. What it did is it popped up through that resistance, came down, and then started to turn up. So I went ahead and got back into Nike. You can see that's what it did. It went here and it turned up, but then, yeah, it just rolled over on me. Um, and What did I do on Nike? Took a small loss, 55 cents on Nike. Not the end of the world. On the next trade, Schlumberger, I went long. This was a winning trade. Again, this dropped off the open right into that support line. It started to bounce. So I went ahead and got long on Schlumberger down there, and rode it up for a little bit and made a little bit of profit on it. Not too bad. The next one I got into was United Health. Tried to go long and ended up losing on this. Again, it dropped down into that support line and then started to bounce. So I went ahead and got long on UNH. You can see it came down. It started to go and then it rolled over. So you know what? Get out of the way. Took a small loss on that one. Um, Gilead Sciences, I tried to go short. It popped up. got into that resistance, and then that little red bar said, look, it got into that resistance, and then it was going to come back down. You can see it here on this chart. Just came into that prior high, and I was going to play it short. See how that played out. That one, yep, need that other line. So that's where I played it. It looked like it was going to roll over and go short here, and it went, and yeah, I got out of the way. But then I flipped and went the other way because if it wasn't going to go long, that was going to be support. So then I went long and made a little bit on that going that way. Yeah, let's get out of that. JP Morgan. Tried to short JP Morgan here. It broke support, came up, looked like it was going to roll over and go down. Didn't work out that way. It it went here, came up, looked like it was going to roll over and go down, and then it went up. I went after that, I think, a little bit later in the day, but yeah, when it didn't continue down, get out of the way. Adobe. This was a nice winner for me. Probably my biggest winner of the day. So Adobe came down through this resistance, that support line. It bounced up back into it and then put in that red bar there that it wanted to go lower. So I shorted that there. And let me move this here. I don't know why I lose that line at 61.75, but there is a line there. So it came down, bounced up into that, and then I rode this down just about all the way down here to the bottom. That was a really good trade. Next one. There's a lot of trades. Look at all of these. No. What we want to look at, we can look at Adobe. Adobe here. Now this is Adobe after it had fallen all day. It came into that support line, bounced, tried to go lower and couldn't. So I got long Adobe there, and that worked out. You can see it came down, bounced, couldn't make a new low, got in here, and rode that all the way up until it trailed out and stopped out near the end of the day. So, those were, some of the good winning trades. Let's go back and see if I can find another good winner. This play on SanDisk. Kind of the same deal. SanDisk had fallen, came into this support, got below it, and then came back above it. So after selling off all day, you can see on this chart here. I mean, this was the low here. At a 200 period moving average, this red line would be support. So I went ahead and took a shot long on SanDisk, and you can see that once it came back above, yeah, market had a nice rally there in the afternoon, and rode that up and did pretty good on that. So overall, yeah, 478 batting average, 224, 1,000 slugging percentage. That's where I want to be. So it was a good day. That's all we're going to do for today. And we'll talk to you later.